The new deploy contracts flow, basically we have a simplified deployer that allows for really quick access to selecting reference assets. And a reference asset is basically the asset that we're tying our contract to. And this deployment allows you to select an API that you'd like to use to get that data from. So you can use Binance or Bitfinex. We'll just use Binance for this example. We're working on this dropdown a little bit because it's pretty confusing that all these ETH pairs are there, and if you scroll way down, you finally get to way down. You finally get to pairs that have USDT or Tether. So we'll just make a Litecoin contract for this example. Go through some pricing. It shows us the current price of Litecoin, and we can set the floor and the cap on our contracts. This isn't new functionality, but the deployment process is we can set an expiration and a contract name. We're actually cleaning this up a little bit further. In the next few weeks, we're going to standardize that a little bit to just add some clarity around what each field means and standardization there as well. So if we click deploy, we're going to get a few MetaMask confirmations. Let's see if those maybe. I should get a few MetaMask confirmations. Let's try this one more time. Also helps if you're actually connected to MetaMask or to Rinkeby. Try that once more here. All right, so we'll go through. Grab that Litecoin. All right. Okay, so now I should get some confirmations. We'll submit this transaction. So this is the new screen that basically takes you through what's happening for each transaction. So the first part of it is deploying a market contract, which is a contract that facilitates the actual trading. The functionality of trade order and the main pieces are in there. And so that's what's being deployed first to the blockchain. So right now we're just waiting for that transaction to be mined. And in that transaction, we call a factory that deploys the contract and also adds that contract address to our registry. And a registry is what allows others to find your contract. And so basically we know that if a contract's in the registry, that it was created from the factory, that it was deployed using our smart contracts, so that it's valid. You don't have to worry that somehow the contract was manipulated or anything like that when it was deployed. So that's the first contract, or the first transaction rather, that is going to be mined and then we'll have deployed. So we can also should be able to see, okay, so then that one just went through. And then it's going to ask me to, again, to confirm for the next transaction, which is we deploy a collateral pool, which is the contract that houses all of the collateral and accounting for that collateral in regards to a user's position. Once that's deployed, it links the collateral pool to the market contract itself. And then that contract is now able to be traded and is fully functional. Each collateral pool is unique. It's a one-to-one pairing with the market contract itself. And those two pieces are needed in order to facilitate the entire kind of end-to-end life cycle of a trade and a contract. So additionally, this should show you the transaction hash of the previous transaction, which you can pull up on Rinkeby's Etherscan and see the information there. And then in a second, this one will also be completed and we'll have the hash as well. We can pull up the pending transaction also and see its status right now. So we're just waiting for it to be mined. Okay, cool. So it just completed. So we see the succeeded success, and then we also are able to see the address that the contract actually got deployed to. We can also take that address if we want to, and you know, we can pull it up on Etherscan. The contracts aren't published there, but you can see them. And then we can also search for it in our find contracts if we wanted to pull up that information to see the metadata about that contract that we just deployed. So that's the Litecoin contract that we just created. So that's pretty much the added things that we created, was just those explanations of what transactions actually were, so people aren't left so far in the dark about what they're actually confirming.
Pretty cool.
Thanks, Phil.
Yeah, is there any questions on that functionality or feedback or thoughts of how to make it improved or explain it better?
Since it was the first time I saw that screen, when you have the 3 steps there, okay, you are running the second step, for example, but you have a line over number 2, and I was a little bit confused which step was happening, because I thought it was step 2. If you could, it's a very small detail. I can actually share later. Don't worry. It takes so much time. In this screen, for example, here you are in the number 1, right? But you have a line kind of separating the item number 1 and the number 2 that is kind of inside the same box. So I was, oh, here is number 2 and number 1. Just a view from some fresh eyes, maybe. Not sure.
I think if we set the 2 and 3 to a disabled colored, like some kind of light gray, instead of having them looking active, it probably will clear up the confusion pretty simply.
Could be something like that, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good feedback, Anderson. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, that caught me too, Anderson. Phil, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. So yeah, I really appreciate that feedback and that insight. I definitely agree that that's a little confusing. The screen's going to get updated. We've been going through the DApp and working on a lot of UI and UX. Nitin and Ari have been really heading that up. So we're going to go to a little bit different format, which is the screen here that you're seeing. But still, I think that I get your point of making sure that it's really clear on what step it's actually on. So yeah, we'll keep that in mind, and maybe we can edit that one or maybe even this screen to make sure it's very clear.